How complex are the logistics in the agricultural supply chain? What are some of the issues that we ought to deal with in the aforementioned space? My name is Corey Korir. Welcome to my channel. Movement of goods up and down has always been done casually, and according to me, there is still a very big problem in the transportation, storage, and the handling of foods. Bearing in mind that most of these foods that are being transported have to be transported while still fresh. First, we ought to consider the issue of carbon footprint. Are there any measures that we are applying while transporting these foods? Are we by any chance doing anything to make sure that the amount of greenhouse gases that are emitted to the environment are reduced? One of the major concerns emanates from the fact that there are some farm produce that have to be transported over a very long distance. And what is the reason for this? Most of these traders do not really know or do not have the data about the foods that are in their immediate environment. That is why they have to source for these foods from a very far place. Take for example, all other factors held constant, why would someone transport bags of potatoes from Chepkorio in Elgeyo Marakwet County to Nairobi, while the same can be easily procured from the environments of Nairobi County? Such kind of issues are to be remedied through use of technology, like mapping out all these crops in every vicinity, so that at any point any trader will have to source these foods from their immediate environment, and these will largely reduce unnecessary movement of farm produce within the country. Such movements can only be warranted if the demand threshold of the same has been overrun. There is a joint in Kikuyu town called the Crave Kitchen. This is a joint that has a backyard and vertical garden, and also in the vertical garden they've recycled plastic bottles, and with the use of vertical garden they're also maximizing use of less space. Now, in this joint, if you order a burger, you'll just see somebody running to the garden, plucking a lettuce, and then bringing the lettuce and prepare you a burger. How fresh is that? There isn't even a carbon footprint in this. And many other businesses should emulate such kind of ventures, because these will lead to reduced carbon footprint. At the end of the day, we are going to combat the effects of climate change. In the wake of COVID-19 scare, a lot of joints sprang up to do deliveries, door-to-door deliveries. These came amidst skepticism from different consumers who would not find time to go to the market or to the supermarket to get their favorite groceries or farm produce. Now, we have to know that most of these deliveries are done through use of automobiles, most of them being motorbikes. This is a good initiative because we see that most of young people are getting these delivery jobs, but at the same time we are hurting the environment by emitting greenhouse gases to the environment. As the same model should remain, I think it is imperative that we should consider ideating around means that use clean energy like solar or wind in an attempt to keep the global temperatures down to combat the predicted devastating effects of the same. The dynamics of farm produce logistics have greatly changed in the recent past. Now, farm produce have to be transported or ferried directly from the farm to the consumer. This has also disrupted the notion of economies of scale, where intermediaries used to go to the farm, bring the produce to a market where other actors in the value chain or supply chain would come and procure them from there. So with these, the dynamics continue being more complex, but at the end of the day, the end goal should remain, and the food that we it should remain safe, should be handled correctly, and make sure that none of this food is being contaminated out there. As business people, one of our major objectives is to keep the costs of operation low. So this still raises questions on the handling, storage, and transportation of food. Are they still safe as we take our food through all those processes? This warrants the intervention of all the stakeholders in the value chain. And as stakeholders, we need to sit down and come up with a foolproof model that will make sure that there is safe food handling, transportation, and delivery of the same. And at the end of the day, we take care of our environment.